Hi, this is Thresden, and this is part one of an Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood Collections walkthrough.
The storm is coming.
The Imperial throne lies empty.
The scent of war swirls in the air.
Evil awakens. A long-vanished foe stirs. Those who would destroy Tamriel seek out dangers to their dark plot. It is the 582nd year of the Second Era. The drums of war are sounding.
This is where our journey begins.
Alright, that was actually the cinematic from the core game that just played. There's no new cinematic for Blackwood because they wanted to emphasize the fact that you can go wherever you want. They completely revamped the starting experience, so we're going to see that now as I create a new character. I want to create an Imperial. If you buy this game, if you've never played it, you're checking it out for the first time, you will not have access to the Imperial Race. There we go. Let me choose my race here. I need to decide what faction I'm going to be. Let's just make him Aldmeri Dominion. Okay. So you have to actually buy the Imperial Race from the Crown Store, but since this chapter takes place in Cyrodiil, I thought it would be cool to play an Imperial. So let me see what I can do here. Let's make him muscular, and let's see here. Class, I want to be a sorcerer. I'm going to play a sorcerer tank. That sounds fine. Alright, let's see about hairstyles. That's kind of cool. That's cool. You know what? Let's make him bold. And let's see. Do I want to make him older? Yeah, that's cool. Have him have scars. That's expected for a tank to have some scars, right? And then let's see. I don't like messing with all these very much. I don't like that facial hair. Let's see if we can do something about that. Yeah, we can change hairstyle, but for some reason... Oh, you know what? Let's make his facial hair black. Alright, I'll just keep it like that. I'm sure there is a facial hair slider somewhere, but I can't seem to find it, so we're just going to go ahead and go in. I'm going to name this character, let's see, What's a good Imperial name? Thresdendius. That sounds like an Imperial name. And we want to play through the tutorial. So you now begin the game at the Isle of Balfira, and this is the case no matter what version of the game that you have. Whether you have the Blackwood Collections or whether you've got the Standard Edition, you still start off in the Isle of Balfira.
You're awake? Oh, thank the stars.
That's just some of my guildies sending me a message there.
There you are, on your feet. I know magical translocation can really upset the stomach. Just take a moment and get your bearings, all right?
Where am I?
The Isle of Balfira, home of Clan Durini. I apologize for the cramped accommodations. We pride ourselves on courtesy, but circumstances here have taken a turn for the bizarre. I needed to make sure you weren't a danger to yourself or others.
Can you let me out?
You might not be so eager to escape once you hear what's going on. You arrive via a portal, along with a Daetric beast called Shiazel. It seized control of our golems and unleashed them on the island. If I free you, will you help me stop Shiazel?
Yes, set me free and I'll help.
Wise choice. Just give me a moment. There. That should unlock the door. When you're ready, follow me.
Alright, now, it's important to try to loot these things early on. In my case, I've got lots of materials from previous characters, but if you were playing through this on your first character, you'd want to try to loot as much as you can.
There you are. Free as a spring cricket. I hope you intend to keep your word. We'll need each other out there. Of that I'm certain. The name's Norianwe, by the way, of Clan Durini. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Where are we headed?
We're bound for a place called the Keyrights Gallery. But first, I need to know you can defend yourself. Hurtling through the Orbis and falling flat on your ear left you a bit scattered. Find a weapon, and we'll work out the cobwebs. Fair?
Sure, but I have some questions.
Of course. I can't promise total transparency, but I'll be as forthcoming as I can.
You mentioned a Keyrights Gallery. What is that place?
The Keyrights Gallery is an ancient substructure of Balfira Island, built long before my clan arrived.
Why is it called the Keyrights Gallery?
On account of all the doors. The gallery's full of ancient gates, each with some arcane connection to places in Tamriel and beyond. Once the gates came to life, rifts opened. You fell out of one of them. The Daedra, Shiazel, emerged from another.
How did you escape?
I cast an incantation of the steed, snatched you up, and fled as fast as my feet would carry me. I heard the Daedra cursing, followed by some kind of explosion, but I didn't look back. I hope the gallery is still standing.
What are you doing here?
Nothing irresponsible, if that's what you're asking. I'm a member of Clan Durini's intelligence guild, the Cinderell. More scholar than spy, I assure you. I was conducting some research in the gallery, then pop! You and that monster arrived.
She's being awfully defensive, isn't she? Why were you studying this place?
The gallery's always been a place of special interest for the guild, but we never quite cracked how it worked. Despite the dangers, this is our greatest breakthrough to date. The guild master will be ecstatic, provided we get it under control.
You said something about golems. What's going on here exactly?
Would it frustrate you to hear that I have no idea? We Dureni are cautious by nature, so the Isle of Balfira has many defenses. Magical stone guardians protect many of our sacred sites, but somehow this Daedra found a way to turn them against us.
Can you describe the Daedra, Shiazel?
Ugh, do I have to? If I recall my studies correctly, I'd say it's a harvester, a huge serpentine creature that feeds on souls and magicka. If it finds a way to consume the energies of the gallery, we will be in very serious trouble.
Okay, let's stop it. Oops, didn't mean to roll dodge there. Alright, I'm gonna take a sword and shield, because this is gonna be a tank character.
Larger weapons like staves and great axes will take both hands to use. You can pair smaller weapons with a shield, or another weapon of that size. The choice is yours.
I got a recipe.
Yes, I think that one suits you. If you change your mind, feel free to take any other weapon you want. Now, let's find a spot to practice.
Got a recipe for a Kai tonic infusion. Not sure what that does, but maybe we'll try to make it when we get to town and can find some crafting tables. I'm going to try to loot some. Got some lock picks. Let's see, is there anything else in here? Another lockpick. Those are always useful. A lot of times, in order to finish quests, you have to break into a place or unlock some door. Oh, okay. She walked out of the room. I thought we were going to practice in here. Got an iron girdle. Let's put that on. We've also got bracers. Don't want to use the homespun sash because I've got the iron girdle, which is going to be better. We want to wear heavy armor as much as we can.
This is as good a place as any. Now, prepare yourself while I conjure up a dance partner. Let's begin. Quickly now, strike the construct. Well done! Hit it! Impressive. Well done. Brilliant!
So you can see you just left click to swing with your sword.
Ready yourself.
Right click blocks.
Strike while it's off balance.
If you hold down left click, you
That's
heavy
the
attack
way.
like that.
Well done. Keep up the defense. Strike hard, now. Raw strength, that. Wonderful. Protect yourself. Use your heaviest attack. Now some foes will try to restrain you. Quickly, break free. You ready to break free?
Hit both buttons to break free, but it consumes
Again,
stamina.
make ready.
Uh-oh. Running out of stamina.
Now press your advantage with a heavy attack. Swiftly now, interrupt it.
Yeah, if you hit the two buttons before he strikes
Again,
you can
hold his
interrupt.
attack.
Like that.
When your enemy prepares an attack, good, now destroy it. Well done. Come speak with me for a moment.
Got Forgotten Adventures Breeches. That is a level 2 leg piece. Gives 668 maximum stamina, and it's a piece of training gear, so it'll give us faster experience. And then we hit level 2. So every time you level, you gain an attribute. I'm going to put at least my first few attributes into health. Because I'm playing a tank character, and then you also get skill points. You have to hit E to commit points. Then it should switch to the skill section. All right, now there's this skill advisor over here that will tell you what skills to take. I mean, you can choose whatever you want, but if you just want an easy guide to follow, you can use that. But you can select right here under advisor settings which type of character you want to play. So in this case, since I want to play a tank, I'm going to find, let's see, this is a healer, this one, War Mage. Okay, so I'm going to take, my first skill is going to be Summon Unstable Familiar. Command the powers of Oblivion to send a Daedric Familiar to fight at your side. The Familiar's attacks deal 616 shock damage. Once summoned, you can activate the Familiar's special ability for 3510 Magicka, dealing 1027 shock damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds to enemies near him. The Familiar remains until killed or unsummoned. So you notice this uses Magicka. At some point in the future, I'm going to put a point or two into stamina. and start using stamina abilities. But for now, this will work.
With moves like that, the Daedra doesn't stand a chance. Yes, I'd say we're ready to set out.
Where are we headed now?
To reach the Keyride's gallery, we have to make it out of this ruin and across a wide field full of the golems I mentioned. With any luck, we'll be able to slip past them. But I'm not all that lucky, so I'm sorry in advance.
Alright, we'll head there next. What can we expect to encounter in the gallery?
Well, it begins with a door, the first of many. The only way to access the gallery is through a mysterious gateway. Once we pass through that initial door, we'll step into a huge vault. This is the part that worries me most.
Why does it worry you?
I believe Shiazel, the Daedric creature that's causing all this mischief, may have nested itself in there. So be prepared to fight.
Will dealing with Shiazel pacify the golems?
I can't say anything with certainty, but ridding the world of an otherworldly abomination can't hurt, right?
Right.
Its influence might linger for a time, but the golems should return to normal before too long. Hopefully.
Alright, now we can choose to practice combat again, but we're not going to do that. We've already done it. Let's go. One thing I should point out is whenever you put a skill on your hotbar, so like if I hit 1 now, I can summon an unstable familiar. Well, as I fight monsters, it will not only level my character, but it'll also level my Daedric summoning skill line. So you can see it says level 1 right here. As this levels, I'll unlock these other abilities in this particular skill line. So you want to try to have a skill from each of these different skill lines, because that will level all of your skill lines. Let's go fight our way through these golems.
One of the stray golems. We might want to sneak past it.
Oh! Yeah, unfortunately I didn't sneak past it. So now I can hit 1, you can see it counting down. I've got an add-on that does that, but I believe you can also set it up to where it'll show you the, you know what, let me fix something here. Okay, so I want to switch this, I'm going to turn the ultimate number on, turn on attribute bars, resource numbers. I can leave active combat tips on, that's fine. I'm going to leave these ability bar timers off because I have an add-on that shows me how to do that. But this should now show us our ability bars all the time. No, it's not working. Shows attribute bars. Maybe I have to scroll down here. Buffs and debuffs always show. And then I want my ability bar. Here it goes. Ability bar, always show. Okay, so I always turn those on. Because, see, now I can see my resources. This is health, magicka, stamina. And then whatever effects I've got going on at the time. Some people prefer not to show that stuff. I like it that way. Alright, let's see. Is this a better shield than what I have? Let's see. Is this a regular sword? Okay, level 2. Okay, good. I'll use those instead of the others. And then here's lots of gear. I want heavy armor if possible. Here we go. Cuirass, greaves, sabatons, pauldrons, gauntlets. I need a helmet. Is there a helmet somewhere? Looks like no helmet. Wait, what's this? That's a hat. Well, that's not fair. Why do the light armor people get to wear a hat, but I don't have a helmet? There's a helmet. It's a rawhide helmet. I want a iron helmet. What's this? Another rawhide helmet. Not what I wanted. Alright, well, let's move on. All of these resources I'm picking up, these can be used later for crafting.
Almost there. Let's hurry.
Maybe we'll get a helmet when we kill the final boss
Right.
or something.
The entrance to the Keyride's gallery should be east of here. Let's set out.
Alright, so you can hold shift to sprint. So this is normal walking speed, and then this is sprinting. Moving the mouse button zooms the camera in and out, just like any other game, pretty much. Got a recipe for nut brown ale. Increases health recovery. We'll have to get to a cooking fire to be able to make that. Alright, now when you see those red things shoot out like a... There's this red area on the ground. That means he's about to do some kind of crazy attack that'll stun you or do a bunch of damage. Then you can just roll dodge like this, just double tap. Or you can just step out of the way of it like I just did there. I happen to be on the outside of the... close to the outside of the area, so that's why I did that instead of roll dodging. If you're kind of a veteran player and you're getting irritated at me explaining everything, I just do this because a lot of new players start playing the game when there's a new chapter out. But over time, I'll eventually have explained everything, and then I won't be explaining so much stuff. Anyway, the reason I mentioned the timer there counting down is there's a dot. This ability puts a dot on the enemies. And you don't want to refresh the dot too soon because you're wasting magicka if you do that. So having that timer allows you to know when to refresh the dot. We're almost to the Keyride's gallery.
The Keyride's gallery is in here. Let's head inside.
Got a pewter ring. Does that do anything? No. I need to add an enchantment to it for it to be valuable.
Well, this is upsetting. Jeffer's bones. The surge of magicka created by the portals you came through. It must have cracked this sky shard. Without a functioning sky shard, this gate remains locked, and there's no way for us to proceed. Damn!
Is there any way to fix it?
Unless you have a set of enchanting tools and a working knowledge of meteoric empowerment theory, no, there's nothing for it. We need to find a replacement.
Where can we find a replacement sky shard?
I saw one in a vault just south of here a few days ago, but it was flanked by one of the island's more powerful golems. Normally, I'd say we should search for another option, but given the circumstances, I think we have to risk it.
Alright, let's find that sky shard. Can I ask you something before we set out?
Of course. Let's not tarry too long, though.
What are sky shards exactly?
Giant clusters of meteoric glass. They fall from Aetherius, charged with raw and very potent magicka. Mages use sky shards in all kinds of rituals and experiments. We Dureni use them as a power source.
What kind of golem did you see near the sky shard?
It's a monstrous sentinel called a gargoyle. I've never seen one fight, but by all accounts, they are far more powerful than the golems we've faced thus far.
Alright, let's go fight the scary monster. And you just saw another player run past. This is not instanced, so it's just another player starting the game. Now let me see if maybe there's a helmet over here. It doesn't look like it. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Iron helm. I could be looting all of this stuff. You know what? Let's loot the heavy stuff. I don't want to take too much of it because it takes up a lot of space. You can't... some items don't take up one inventory space. You can have 200 of them taking up one slot.
Do you see that vault to the south? The sky shard is there.
Alright, let's go to the south. So anyway, some items take up less space than others. Gear, armor, and stuff takes up a lot of space, so I don't want to loot everything. I've learned my lesson from previous chapters doing that, but I went ahead and got a few extra pieces to deconstruct for materials. So, if you played other RPGs, you may be surprised that I can play a sorcerer tank. But you can actually play any kind of build with any class. The only difference is that each class has its own class abilities. So, for example, summoning an unstable familiar is a class skill for sorcerers. Only sorcerers can do that.
There it is! The sky shard! Dodge quickly! To the side!
See, in that case, I had to roll dodge. Oop! Didn't block. Level 3. Got Crown Fortifying Meal. This will increase health, magic, and stamina for 2 hours. And looks like I can't take any of these abilities yet. That's interesting. Why am I not taking Puncture or something like that? That's weird. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... Which one do I want? I'm not going to follow this advisor because I don't like what it's telling me to do. I'll take Crystal Shard. Conjure dark crystals to bombard an enemy, dealing 4227 magic damage. Your next non-ultimate ability cast within 3 seconds costs 10% less. So now we've got 2 abilities.
What? Did you just absorb the energy of that shard? Incredible. Not quite what I intended, but we can work with this. Let's head back to the gate.
Ginkgo tonic. Increases stamina recovery. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take this crown fortifying meal.
We should hurry back to the gate. We don't have the sky shard, but we do have a spark of ethereal energy. That's the important bit.
Yeah, you can absorb those sky shards. They're all over Tamriel, and when you absorb them, if you get 3 of them, you get a skill point. Alright, let's see if we can unlock this door.
Alright, moment of truth. Focus on the sky shard aperture. With any luck, it'll respond to the power you absorbed and unlock the gate.
Come on, hurry up.
Ha! You did it! Let's speak for a moment. I'm afraid we've reached the really scary bit. The Daedric creature responsible for all these portals waits just beyond that gate. If you have any other preparations to make them now.
Do you have any advice on how to slay this thing?
Again, I'm just a scholar. But I'd encourage you to remember what we practiced before. Keep moving, strike true, and exploit any opening the creature gives you.
Alright.
There it is! Send it back to oblivion!
I'll try.
You, my meal arrives at last.
Ooh,
Only
my pet got hit.
will remain.
Once you gain
You
an
cannot kill what cannot die.
once you gain an ability that you can spam, like these crystal fragments, you want to light attack weave. Light
You did
attack,
it.
then use an
Hopefully
ability.
the gallery wasn't too badly damaged. Follow me.
Light attack, then use an ability. Light attack, then use an ability. Alright, we got an Heirloom Necklace. Gives us 888 health. That's it, we killed Shayazel.
Well, that was thrilling. Now, we should make our way to the central chamber of the Keyrights Gallery.
And obviously this is pretty easy because it's the tutorial. The
By all the
bosses...
stars. Look at the central column. I had no idea it was concealing something like this. Let's get a closer look.
Yeah, pretty wild looking. You always want to try to read these books. Or at least act like you're reading them, because they can sometimes give you skill. They can increase your skill lines. Some of them are lore books that will increase your Mage's Guild skill line. For various reasons, it's always good to check out these books and see. In this case, none of them do anything. They're just interesting books to read. They tell you all kinds of things about Tamriel.
This is the Keyrights Gallery, but not as I remember it. Now I see why we never managed to unlock the gates. Their power comes from this arcane helix. Amazing. With the helix exposed, these gates can finally reopen. Perhaps not all of them at first, but enough to reach most of Tamriel. The question for you, I suppose, is where to first?
Alright, so here's where we make our decision about where we're gonna go.
Can you believe this? Just look around. With this arcane helix exposed, the chamber is positively crackling with magic. The Keyrights Gallery has come to life, and I finally think I know why.
What do you mean? Why did it come to life?
Because of you. Matters in Tamriel are bleak. War rages in Cyrodiil. Daedric princes conspire. Dragons ride the winds of elsewhere. The Second Era needs a savior. I believe the Gallery, perhaps even the Adamantine Tower itself, chose you.
What do you think I should do next?
The Keyrights Gallery opened doors to every corner of Tamriel, places I suspect that desperately need a hero's aid. This choice is yours to make, but wherever you choose to go, I'm sure adventure awaits. May the stars protect you. So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift.
Alright, I'm gonna check out this loot that we just got first, before do anything else. Forgotten Adventure Strongbox. We've got a bow, level 3 breeches, an Inferno Staff. I don't really want the bow. I think maybe we're gonna use a two-handed weapon as our second weapon. But I could use the breeches. You know, this is medium armor, but that's okay. I'll take it. Don't have to have all heavy. I just need 5 pieces of heavy armor to eventually get all the heavy armor passives.
So, have you chosen where to go? What region of the world strikes your fancy? Not everyone gets to pass instantly from one side of Tamriel to another, you know. This is quite a gift.
Do you plan to use one of the doors as well?
What, me? No, I've got work to do. The Cinderil will want every bit of this place searched and studied. Since I did the discovering, I'll probably end up leading the effort. Adventure abroad sounds all well and good, but my place is here.
Do you really think fate brought me here?
Well, fate's sort of a clumsy way to put it. No offense. Honestly, we may never know why you were chosen. But I believe there was intention here. Something, whether it be the stars, the gallery, or the tower itself, placed you here for a reason.
And Shayazel? What brought it here?
Perhaps it followed you to prevent you from reaching your... well, destiny sounds a bit too grandiose. Let's just say to stop you from reaching your potential. Then again, maybe the power of this place brought you here to stop Shayazel.
I guess we'll never know.
Probably not. But what's a life without unanswered questions, right? Boring, if you ask me.
Do you think you'll ever unravel the mysteries of this place?
Ha! An elf can hope. Answering that question will probably keep me occupied for the next 100 years. Is the Helix connected to the Adamantine Tower? How does it perceive distant corners of Tamriel? I may never understand it, but I'll do my best.
Any thoughts on where I should go?
It is a bit overwhelming, isn't it? The whole of Tamriel is stretched out before you. We could start with the political considerations. 3 great alliances vie for control of Cyrodiil. Does the fate of the Pact, Covenant, or Dominion interest you?
Alright, I'm gonna say yes, I would like to travel to Alliance territory. We're not gonna go to Alliance territory, but let's just see what she says.
Excellent. You can visit Stros Mackay in Daggerfall Covenant territory, an island called Kanathi's Ruse that the Aldmeri Dominion set its eyes on, or the Ebenhardt Pact's domain.
On second thought, I might want to travel outside the borders of the 3 great alliances.
I don't blame you. Interprovincial intrigue is the basis of my whole profession, and even I find it tiresome after a while. I suppose that widens the map a bit.
Where else could I find adventure?
Well, as I said before, threats to Tamriel have grown like weeds practically everywhere. Would you prefer to spend time among my elven kin, the Khajiit of elsewhere, or men of the north and south?
What can you tell me about elsewhere?
According to our spies, the land of the catfolk is in sorry shape. Imperial holdouts sit upon the throne, and a rage of dragons spilled out of the halls of Colossus, burning everything in their path. If it's adventure you seek, you'll find it there.
Okay, so she's telling us about the Elsewhere chapter. That's a chapter that came out 2 years ago. You mentioned elves, too. Where can I find them?
If you take the gate to Vardenfell, you can meet the Dark Elves, and maybe even the God King, Vivek. You could also travel south to Somerset Isle, our ancestral home and the primary seat of power for the High Elves.
Is there work to do on Somerset Isle?
Always. Though the natives don't make it easy. High Elves of Somerset don't share the Durrani's pragmatism. They're often too proud to ask for help. But our agents reported some strange activity around the Crystal Tower. It's probably worth a look.
Can you tell me about these realms of men you mentioned? That was the Somerset chapter she was just describing.
Certainly. One of these gates appear to go to Western Skyrim, a mythical kingdom of Nords led by King Svargrim. The other leads to Blackwood, at the southern tip of Cyrodiil. Imperial remnants rule there.
Okay, so that's the two latest chapters. Last year's was Western Skyrim, and then, I say Western Skyrim, it was called the Greymore chapter, and then this year's is Blackwood. So let's ask her about Western Skyrim.
The Nords of Western Skyrim are inhospitable, to put it lightly. Even so, we've been able to glean a few things. I've read reports about increased vampiric activity in the region. Never a good sign. They need stout adventurers to deal with it.
Okay, so it's a vampire story. Lots of vampires on that. You mentioned elves. Oh, well, we've already asked about elves. So, we want to go back to the thing about men.
Excellent. You can visit... I don't blame you. Well, as I said before, threats... Certainly. One of these gates appears
What's the
to go
situation
west
in Blackwood?
Skyrim. Our agents are investigating a handful of strange Daedric structures hidden away in the swamps near Gideon and Leowyn. I honestly couldn't tell you how they got there, but the presence of Daedric anything in Tamriel is always cause for concern.
Okay, so that's it. That's all the information she gives us. Now, you can get further information by going and looking at each of the portals. So this one here, this goes to a core game area, starts the Aldmeri Dominion storyline.
That's Canarthy's Roost, a Khajiiti isle with emerging ties to the Aldmeri Dominion. Sea elves have been flexing their muscles in that part of the Topal Bay. Competing interests could lead to bloodshed. Someone like you could set things right.
And this one will go to either, let's see, I think this is the Daggerfall Covenant storyline.
Stros Mackay. It's a fascinating island with rich Dwarven and Red Guard history. Alas, it's been largely overrun by pirates. If the gallery elected to open a portal to the island, something extraordinary must be occurring there. So, ready to set out.
And this is going to be the Ebenhardt Pack storyline. These are the three faction storylines from the core game.
It appears this one leads to Bleakrock, a frigid Nord holding, north of Eastmarch. For this gate to choose such a remote location, something important must be taking place there. The gallery is beckoning you to face it. Ready to brave the cold?
And then this is the first chapter, Morrowind.
This portal leads to Vardenfell. Fascinating, given that the Dark Elves only recently opened it to outsiders. Our spies indicate there might be something wrong with the Dunmer's God King, Vivek. Anything capable of that is a threat to everyone.
It used to be that you started the game in whatever was the newest chapter. But now they've made it to where you can choose where you go, which I think is much better. This is Western Skyrim. This is last year's chapter.
Western Skyrim, a cold place inhabited by colder people. They may disagree, but those Nords need fresh perspective. A group of vampires have mounted a shadow invasion. I hesitate to think on what they're planning. If anyone can stop them, it's you.
And then here's Somerset.
Somerset Isle, the ancestral home of all elves. Fair warning, our cousins in the Aldmeri Dominion can be a prickly bunch. But our spies indicate something is amiss at the Crystal Tower. They need an outsider's perspective. Someone like you.
Here's Elsewhere.
This portal leads to elsewhere. The home of the catfolk is well worth visiting, especially in light of recent events. Reports indicate that dragons re-emerged there. Dragons? Hard to believe, but it's true. The Khajiit could definitely use your help.
And I believe that's all of them. So if we keep going, we're going to end up back at Blackwood. Is she going to walk back over here? No. Okay, that's weird. Here we go.
Seems this portal leads to Blackwood, on the southern border of Cyrodiil. I read an intelligence report about a series of high-profile murders with links to the region. Daedric mischief, too. A warrior like you could do some real good there.
Alright, travel to Blackwood and start the Gates of Oblivion storyline.
You there. The Ivory Brigade has need of you.
Alright, and now that we've arrived in Blackwood, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and in part 2, we'll start the Blackwood storyline. Thanks for watching. See you next time.